know you're out there. I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I can feel you. I know that you're afraid. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see.
So, what a following from here. And you know, this will be a shorter one, but you know, based on this matrix philosophy theory stuff, you know, I remember in the part in there, basically where this dude, you know, basically makes a deal with what they call the sentient program Smith and stuff, you know, to set up Neo, you know, to lead him into a trap. And what ties with this, you know, like the matrix philosophy is, you know, say there were people in that system, and you know, they were approached or told things like this, you know, like a definition of doing the deal with the devil. Basically, you know, if they said to them, you know, if you basically fuck up the system or whatever, you know, turn your back on other people, you know, basically what they would do is offer them the same. And you know, it would be like in this matrix system, they just wipe their memory of what everyone else should be living, and you know, give them some kind of place in that world, well, the matrix system, where, you know, they basically would have you know, a better life than everyone. So, you know, it'd be like what they say is selling your soul for riches and that. In this line, it would be, you know, basically you'd be given all of this life in this matrix dream world. You know, if you see that film, you see it. Can't remember the dude's name, but bald-headed dude. And basically, what he does, you know, he meets Smith, etc. They basically say to him, you know, that give him an offer he can't refuse. And when you see it, they're basically they ask him what he wants. He says, etc. This, etc. And you know, from there, basically, you know, he gets what he wants. But you know, in that philosophy theory, you know, that's probably what would happen. You know, like if this was the matrix, and there were certain people that basically knew of this, they would most likely do the same. You know, everyone else, they're living their life now. You know, if you were offered that compared to how everyone else is living, you know, just a click of a finger, and they gave you all of these things, you know, you would I don't think anyone wouldn't, you know, and you know, that just lays in that theory and stuff as to what I believe, you know, based on that theory. You know, it makes sense to me, but like I said, these are just certain things I add to that theory, philosophy, just to put on there. You know, I've seen a lot of glitches and stuff. I mean, when I remember the other day, which I don't, you know, take out of the equation real life, you know, like probability, but you know, if you wanted to see it as a matrix theory, basically, you know, Sainsbury's, yes, the other day, go in there, pick up this tin of beans, you know, just a random one, and all I remember is slicing my finger on the one next to it. I mean, all it's hard to describe, but basically what it was, it's like my senses like picked something up, you know, and it happened, you know, as if it was like a glitch style, like a matrix, the same as that fag when that was flicked out the window, you know, years ago in Broughton. Now it's as if I could sense something in the equation, but what I'm basically putting across is, you know, it wouldn't be hard for them to do, like the machine world, you know, if it was some kind of you know, small kind of attack. I mean, because if you saw what was on there were two cans next to each other, and you know, where I picked it up, if they wanted to basically glitch that to make the edge where I cut my finger, you know, like have a dent on it or whatever, you know, they could have done that. I wouldn't have seen it, because when the can I picked up was next to it, you know, I couldn't see if the other one, the lid on it was bent. So it's just weird stuff, and it didn't hurt or anything, but what I'm trying to put across is it basically just felt like I was some kind of thing from the Matrix, but it's weird. And I've had so many experiences like these glitches styles that have happened so many times. And then I'll keep this as short as possible, but based on these sentient programs and the Matrix philosophy, what I was going through was basically say if this was like a program now based on sentient programs, we wouldn't even realise the difference between them and us, walking around, based on like the if you've sorry, my mind's going, so cool. If you see like the architect and the oracle, on those films, if you ever watch them, they're basically both programs in that Matrix. They're not even real people. Same as Smith and stuff. And this is what I'm trying to put across is, their artificial intelligence is so advanced, and how they speak and how they are, that in the Matrix you wouldn't notice the difference between them and real people. So why these cars drive past, there's a couple over there, wherever, one of them could be a sentient program, and one could be a human. So that's what it would be. And it's kind of weird, but that's what Morpheus was simply explaining. In this philosophy, or in this film itself, when he was saying about sentient programs, they're everyone and they're no one. He says basically anyone could be an agent. Now what he's talking about is not as if like James Bond or whatever, but what he's trying to say in that film is basically that any of them could be a sentient program. Sentient programs are near enough agents, in that film. We're not talking about like proper ones you see in the world, or what we see around. So therefore, what I'm trying to put across is, anywhere we would be in this Matrix system, we could be walking amongst sentient programs, and we wouldn't notice the difference. But it's all crazy, and there's things that don't make sense to me, and I always wonder to myself why, always when I feel like I start feeling like, I notice these things, it's as if something makes my mind forget about it so damn quick. And it's like my mind won't even remember a grasp, to the point that my mind was telling me that this world is near enough digital. And, it's as if, based on that philosophy, basically they would be doing what they would do to everyone else, like keep you asleep and basically make sure that you walk around forgetting about it. But the one with the tin, as I said, was weird, and I'll never put aside the fact that it could have just been bad luck based on probability. But all I remember that day, I was angry about what's been done to me. I go into Sainsbury's over there, and I just looking for something to go on my food. I see some beans that run off or something. I go to pick them up, and my right hand small finger, basically I felt it cut, as I picked up this can on the left. The can on the right, I saw that it had been dented and stuff, and it basically sliced my finger. And this is why, what I was trying to put across is if that was a Matrix glitch, basically what that would be, based on that probability, is the machine world would have just made a glitch. So when I picked up that can, it basically was like a injury. They wanted to sustain on me, for whatever I was talking about or getting angry about. But it's all crazy. But these are things I like to summarise and point out, because along with those other things I've mentioned, the probability of being in the digital world, as many people have said, it's quite possible. It's very, very possible. But this is another thing. In the daytime, say this was, you wouldn't be able to notice, even I wouldn't. It looks real, but based on night time is when I start noticing things. When I look at objects, as I said, they look like they've got something going over them. You know, it's like the night time you can see whatever it is, but it's all crazy stuff. But just so long as I leave that on there, and so you know you can take that into mind. So like I said, it's all I leave on there, but always point out these notes every time I go through it, just to you know, just so people can grasp that thought, or you know, you keep it in mind. And yeah, cheers. So another thing, you know, like a note I remember or whatever, based on this matrix theory. First of all, the you know, tied in with again philosophy theory, just a note always do. But you know, like when you look at 9/11 and you know, look at the date of that, you know, it says 2001, and you know, what ties to that one, you know, 01, and you know, the animatrix on there. You know, the city, what it was called, the machine city itself. You know, it said it was the city 01, and you know, always put coincidence and probability into the equation, but it's just it's kind of weird when you look at it that way, because you know, you're seeing things that start to connect, and you know, 9/11, 01 being that key number. Machine City and a matrix and stuff. You know, it's just one of those things I'd point out, and I'm sure there are so many more signs that other people have could tie to that theory or whatever, you know, in their own philosophy and stuff. And another one what I saw, you know, based on you know, what they say in the wiki documents based on the matrix was you know, like Agent Smith, what they said is he basically went around the matrix causing carnage, you know, in the system. And you know, this is where it would tie with the theory. You know, if it's a year 3000, you know what Agent Smith would be. He would basically be, you know, someone like what people are saying is Jacob Rothschild in that theory. Where they say, you know, this dude is like the shadow government, and that ties to you know what I was saying before in the other videos, basically where, you know, they set in programs, you know, they portray to be other people in the matrix, but you know, they're just AI imitations of people who would have been around in the real 21st century. So therefore, what I'm trying to put across is, you know, what the sentient programs would do. You know, if people didn't even realise this, is they would be imitating people like that. You know, it's crazy stuff, but it's not hard to do. And you know, so my mind's going again, but it's all cool. But you know, this is what ties in with you know, like you know, the police officers on you know, the Matrix film. You know, they see like I said, they're basically what they are. I believe they're more of NSA, but you know, like Agent Smith, they're basically like NSA agents, but what they really are in that film are, you know, sentient programs portraying to be. And you know, those police officers, they don't even realise, you know, they think they're humans. So therefore, you know, based on where, you know, they can basically be anything they want, you know, those sentient programs, if they wanted to be in the form of you know, I don't know, Gandhi, if they wanted to come back as him, they could come back as him. You know, they could be in any form. Sorry, my mind's going again, but what I'm trying to put across is, you know, in this theory, therefore, based on what, you know, that what the Wachowski brothers put on a wiki was Smith, i.e. the sentient program of the mainframe. You know, he goes around basically causing carnage in the system that we would live in. And, you know, based on where they tried to keep us asleep on those films, Smith would have to go around, or basically this machine as you see him, in any form he wanted, pretending to be an elitist of the shadow government. And tied to that, year 3000, what would he do? He'd come back or, portray himself to be someone like a rich banker, who's basically bribing people to do things. And therefore, say if in the real 21st century in this philosophy, Jacob Rothschild was someone like that, basically what he would be doing, is going around in that form, is what conspiracy theorists say is him who's causing the trouble based on what we see. And therefore, this it would just be like a sentient program from the machine world, in the form of Jacob Rothschild, from the 21st century. And anybody who spoke to him or, had contact with him, they'd believe it was him, the people who actually thought they're in the real world, based on that philosophy, and they wouldn't notice the difference. I could be speaking to someone, someone could come along to me based on this philosophy, someone from my past, I don't know, anyone. And it could be a sentient program, like a clone imitating to be them. And the real person, they could be anywhere else. This is based with good reason. My mind's all over the place again though. I'm in a crowded area, so I think I'm picking up a lot of people, but basically it's hard to describe where I'm standing now, but what I'll try to explain, because as I said, my mind's racing all over the... But right, I'll go again. Basically what it is the Matrix, the theory, philosophy, is that in this Matrix system, basically what they say is, the machine world, the elitists that run our world in this Matrix system would be, in control of everything. And, they could upload themselves into this Matrix world as whatever they wanted to be in AI form. So, if AI form wanted to clone or portray itself to be Nelson Mandela or something like that, they could upload themselves to it right now, and I could see that dude walking along. Now I'd know he died years ago, so I'd be going crazy, but that's what I'm trying to explain is that's what they'd be able to do. So therefore, say if this was the Matrix and it was a year 3000 and all of that stuff, basically what I was trying to put across is tie with what they say is the machine world causing carnage across the world. What I said was Agent Smith is, he would just, or the machines would just portray himself to be an AI version of Jacob Rothschild, and try and portray himself as what conspiracy theorists are saying is the person who is the elite government, who are basically the shadow government, pulling the strings of everyone, running the main countries across the world. And they wouldn't notice the difference as much as those cops didn't on the film, where they're portraying themselves to be NSA. This is what I'm trying to explain, and that's just basically how it would be. But it's crazy ass stuff, and there's more to it based on technology and what I've gone through in those videos. If I'd just said, oh, it's the Matrix, it's the year 3000, we're in a Matrix simulated dream, and left it there on any of those videos, if I didn't give any insight, I'd understand why skeptics would be going, oh, this dude's a delusional and is crazy. But I've gone into these things with insight and reason behind them, based on the films, and they're based on philosophy, etc., technology. And so I always do that. I never just say, this is this and leave it there, because I understand why people don't believe conspiracy theorists, like Facebook, where they just post a meme where it says, oh, the Illuminati are doing this because, someone jumped in a river, and they don't have any backup to it, a source or insight. That's why I leave those pages or leave them alone. I always put insight or, info, philosophy, logical thinking, critical, all of those into what I talk about, where it's those videos are made, analysis, or, these philosophy. And so you realise where I'm coming from. But yeah, so I've gone a bit off track again, But basically, to summarise, 9/11 0101 ties to 01 the city in the Matrix, Animatrix, the Matrix story of the Machine City. It's a bit coincidental, but like the probability factor of based in real life is still there. I don't put that one aside. And then basically the sentient programs causing carnage across the world. In the Matrix philosophy, basically would be, as I said, them uploading themselves as AI versions of people who would have been around in the real 21st century, and portraying themselves to be other people, to those other people that wouldn't even realise who they're paying or bribing to do those things. This is all philosophy, as I said. I always have to note it. I don't know if someone keeps putting that out, that always put those things out there, and just so they're known. And like I said, that one, what I tied in earlier, basically was, even if these people were aware, who were high up, who were taking bribes, it could simply just be based on that film, where the dude basically sells his soul, or what they would say, to the sentient programs. They basically tell him that we're sentient programs, and if you basically do what we want to cause carnage or whatever, we'll give you a different life in the Matrix, and you'll have cars and riches and everything you want. That's basically what they say to him. And they either one could tie. It just, as I said, it wouldn't make a difference. It would just be over bribery. But what you need to understand, based on that philosophy, whatever it's called, tied to that Matrix film, is basically what they would do. It wouldn't be like as you would be putting money in your account. All they'd do is, they'd plug them into a different system, or like it's just like a simulated program. So say right now where I am, I'm struggling for money. If these sentient programs and I did something like that, they're basically all of a sudden, if mates made some deal with them, all of a sudden they could plug me into a different lifestyle, and it would just be software, basically what I'd be given. So I'd wake up or something in like with a big ass house or whatever, and loads of money and shit like that. That's what they were basically trying to put across to this dude on that film. But there's a lot of insight to it, and a lot of philosophy, and you always have to keep an open mind to these things. It gets very deep, the rabbit hole, and but as I said, I'm so fucked up, and I shall leave it there. But what I'll do is a recap on basically what I was saying a few minutes ago. Based on these conspiracies and that. Like I said, I don't blame the skeptics out there, who don't believe people like me. If it was based on like what I said, if I basically just said, this is the Matrix or whatever, and I didn't give it backup or stuff, I understand why people would be like, this dude's insane. Or if I said 9/11 was an inside job and left it there, or stuff like that with no reason to them. But I always look into those things. It's like private investigation, analysis of sources and stuff, and a comparison of contradictive reports from official sources and stuff. So I always have backup to them. It's not like I just sit there and say, oh, this is this, and believe it. So I always like give a big comparison of information compared to the official stories and stuff, to show that there's contradictions from the things they reported. And I always do those things to make sure people are aware, because all I want to do is wake people up, or have things looked into. But where I'll agree with the skeptics, where partly agree, where you're led to see that we're like nutters and stuff, is basically based on some of the things I see myself. There's things like some kind of Illuminati exposed page I saw, and they do things like that. That's why I liked it. They used to post some kind of meme saying you know, the Illuminati is behind this, and you know, it was something to do with the elites, and it's just a picture of something like 9/11, and they don't have any credible sources or links with information to them or stuff. It's just a meme. And you know, that's where I would agree with the skeptics. If people are just seeing stuff like that, you know, somebody, you know, a building fell down, Illuminati, you know, no information or a reason behind it. So you know, but when there's people like me, even though I don't call myself a conspiracy theorist, it's just a name to ridicule people like me and Ike, is I call ourselves private investigators. You know, we do have credible backup to what we put together, and we always do our own research. And this is why I want people out there, you know, to look past the ignorance of, you know, the mainstream media, whoever it is that basically call us, you know, like people like that. And because basically this is a psychological thing again, you know, like a mind trick via the media, what was going on about like picture word relations, Snowden. Basically, you know, every time everyone out there, you know, like across Britain, America, every time you hear the conspiracy theorist, I guarantee your mind is all of a sudden connected to Illuminati, you know, all these stupid memes that make us look like jokes and nutters. You know, your mind relates to all those things. Conspiracy theorists in everyone's mind nowadays, you know, they're connected to that, you know, tinfoil hat, you know, Illuminati, aliens and stuff, you know, idiots and jokes, you know, that's how it's been portrayed. But what you need to realise is, you know, a conspiracy theorist, as Immortal Technique said, as best as possible, you know, it's basically a critical thinker. You know, it's basically, you know, it's a derogatory title to dismiss one. And what that relates to, what it's saying is, the derogatory title comes from what the media, that's why they use it all the time for. Because, you know, it's been used as a derogatory term with, you know, memories and relations for your mind tied to, you know, Illuminati and all those stupid memes, you know, to dismiss us as soon as you hear that word in the media. But what it really means is a critical thinker. And if you tie critical thinking, everybody has the skill, but, you know, critical thinker, you know, it ties to the mind state and the thinking patterns of people like, you know, private detectives themselves, Secret Service and stuff. And therefore, you've got to see us in those terms, you know, as long as we have credible information stuff behind our work. Me, David Icke, we're like those people, but, you know, like we're private journalists / investigators. So, you know, you should never dismiss us and always listen to what we've got to say, you know. But it's just how they work. And, you know, psychology, it's used against us a lot in the media. You know, I could come up with loads of examples. I've got a video up there to show it, but you know, that's all I want to clear up on that one. So, you know, if you hear conspiracy theorists, never you know, never try to be thrown off from how the media have made you see us as. Because like I said, just when you hear conspiracy theorists from now on, try to imagine private investigators / journalists, and, you know, basically, you know, like detective style, and you know, see us as people with credible, you know, credibility to what we talk about. I mean, me and David Icke especially, see that what that dude looks into and stuff. The dude has credible stuff behind him. If you put aside the lizard theory and stuff like that, you know, you could even do it in the Matrix if you're skeptical. But everything else we talk about, you know, is more realistic and it has a lot of backup to it. So, you know, what I was saying on Alex Jones, you know, I partly agree with him, what he talks about, but where I line off with what he says is based on, you know, he makes a lot of money from what he does, and he also over exaggerates. You know, like, you know, I said David Icke. Now, David Icke exaggerated, I agree with the lizard people thing, but you know, where Alex Jones, I've heard a lot from him, is, you know, the dude kind of goes over the top. You know, he really exaggerates a lot of things. You know, what I analysed from him basically was the dude, he can be like, you know, like a proper private investigator, but sometimes you can suddenly switch to some dude who's gone on about stuff that's really, you know, insane, or, you know, it seems a bit over the top. So I want to clear that one up, that I do give Alex Jones a bit of credibility to what he says. It's just I don't agree with everything. But like I said, I'm going off again because my mind's a bit fucked up. But You know, I just want to make sure that's clear, you know, to everyone out there, because like I said, as much as basically put as much as you have the relation of traitor next to Snowden or whatever, you know, when you look at articles, no one, it's what you have in conspiracy theorists. I know the media know this themselves. You know, what I've learnt from the method of learning that 97% of people didn't realise that, you know, Osama bin Laden was a CIA agent. You know, it told me that basically 97% of the people listen to the mainstream media and don't even realise, you know, there's a lot of things behind conspiracy theorists, or, you know, they're ridiculed. I mean, it didn't say 97% of people have a certain population or country, which threw me off. You know, they could mean the world, they could mean USA, anywhere, but 97% of anywhere, you know, it tells me a lot based on that. You know, that nobody knew or realised that he basically was trained by them. And, you know, it tells me a lot that, you know, people like me and Ike, you know, 97% must not really listen to us, or, you know, you think we're nutters or whatever. But what I was saying before, again, there's two sides to a story, and you know, you've always got to listen to two sides as much as a court case. And this is what I was trying to suggest before to you know, like the mainstream media, is you know, you should be basically letting the public as a judge and jury listen to both sides. You know, if you know someone like me or Reich, you know, have credible info, or, you know, back up to what we're saying, contradictions of official stories, false flag ops, whatever, you should always give us the credibility, or our sides, people like us, to be put on the same articles, whether it's tabloids or mainstream news, for the public as the judge and jury to decide, you know, from both sides. You know, say 9/11 was reinvestigated or put on the news again, or what the mainstream said, official report. You know, you fairly should put also, you know, the conspiracy side to it, and then the public can sit there and, you know, they're with their own common sense, being shown both sides, they could say within themselves if they're, you know, whether they still believe the official story, or, you know, they're starting to see holes in it from, you know, what conspiracy theorists said. And this is what I was trying to put across before. You know, it would be good if they did that. And you know, I'm just going along those lines of what I've been talking about. You know, it's only fair. And you know, like I said, I don't understand if me and Ike or anyone like that, we just basically you know, we basically just sat there and, like I said, told the public, you know, this was this, and we didn't have any information, or, you know, we didn't have even credibility or stuff behind us. I mean, with me, and I think Ike as well, we both use official sources from the same people, you know, like credible sources, Daily Mail, The Sun, whoever, Telegraph. You know, basically we get information from those to use our reports, and then, you know, we do our research from them. I mean, I don't understand if we looked at, you know, like conspiracy sites that said Illuminati did this, that, but, you know, with me, all I know of me is based on the method of, you know, people being skeptical of people like me and Ike. Basically, always use information from those, you know, mainstream media sources as the method as a loophole. So, you know, if people are skeptical, they'll realise that I looked at the Daily Mail, BBC or whatever, and, you know, they saw that I found contradictions from official reports of people they interviewed, and you know, that means there's no flaws in what we found. But you know, it's always fair to listen to both sides. How you doing, dude? Sorry. So you know, that's all I want to do, you know, is wake people up. And at the same time, you know, it's not fair. It's not fair if you know, basically the public are being told one side to a story either. You know, the mainstream media, all you ever do is basically, it feels like you tell them what you want them to hear. And you know, anybody who has another side, you shun them for it, or you know, you keep them out of sight. You know, what I've seen, mainstream media, everyone, they're basically trying to make sure that the public, the general public of everywhere across the world, just blank out or dismiss or don't even bother. You know, starting to look at, you know, conspiracy theories. You know, you're making sure that they believe everything that you tell them on the mainstream news. And you know, it's not fair when those people are actually putting a lot of, doing a lot of research behind what they do. You know, me and Ike, I know me myself anyway. You know, I put a lot of compassion and stuff into what I do, moral wise, and because you know, I have, you know, like the skills to do what I do. I also enjoy doing it at the same time. You know, the morality and the compassion behind it just gives me the incentive and the motive to want to find out. But you know, when I put those things together, as much as basically what it would be fair is if you let people listen to us instead of you know, shunning us, or you know, saying, you know, we're loonies and stuff, and just making us look like jokes. So as I said, I go off track because my mind's a bit messed up, but that's all I want to leave on that. So summarising on that one, you know, always how you doing, dude? Always consider, as the public and that, you know, listen to our sides, you know, when we put together you know, those videos or documents, and you know, give us a chance, give us a listen, because you know, based on my experience, I used to be the same as everyone else, you know, across the nation or everywhere. You know, I used to, like I said, 9/11 years ago, back with my ex Lorna. Like I said, she said, oh, 9/11 inside job. She was showing me these videos, even showing those, you know, things to say it was. I just was so ignorant. You know, I was watching it and I just couldn't believe it. You know, I was just saying, no, it's a load of bullshit. These conspiracy theorists, they're nutters. I used to have the same mind state. But as I said, what led me down this path was to find out all the things I've been putting together, and you'll be the same out there. You'd have the same mind state as me. You just wouldn't believe that something so crazy was possibly done by, you know, people that you wouldn't believe. But you know, sometimes if you let go, or you follow your own path and give it a try, I guarantee looking at a decent 9/11 video like I did, a Tomony of a Great Deception or something, you'll start to see, you know, what I did. And like I said, it's crazy, and you'll be a bit shocked at the start, but you know, the truth sets you free. And as soon as you get over the shock factor, you know, you want to know more about things like 7/7 and all of those things. You know, what I didn't find fair, what I was saying before, based on this, is you know, where you know, what I was saying yesterday was, which is unfair based on Theresa May, David Cameron, where you were basically saying you imprison people who want, you know, like conspiracy theorists, whatever, for 7/7. I mean, what I was putting into the equation was, you know, like the family members of people who died in 7/7. You know, 7/7 truthers, who are most likely the people who really want, you know, this investigated. I mean, I'd assume, you know, they'd be the most upset if they're sitting there, you know, knowing that basically you're trying to say that you're going to threaten them or whatever, you know, for, you know, wanting you to investigate things that happened to their family members who died or whatever in 7/7. So, you know, that's another thing that you should respect from their side. But my batch is about to go, so, you know, I'll leave it there. Cheers.